Sup, y'all, bring you guys another video. So which fight would you rather see? Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford, or Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter? Which fight would you rather see? It seems like these are the options at the moment for Bud Crawford. There are talks about him possibly fighting Manny Pacquiao in the Middle East, and there are talks of him fighting Porter as well. In my opinion, obviously, the Pacquiao fight is a much more bigger fight for Terence Crawford. More money involved. Um, Pacquiao is still a very popular fighter. Even at over 40 years old, he's still one of the best fighters out there in the world today. Even it's still questionable at the moment because he hasn't fought in 2020 at all. But I think he still has some fight in him, at least to be competitive at the highest level in the welterweight division at the moment. And this fight is a tough fight for Manny Pacquiao. Tough fight. I've always said it in previous videos, and I'll say it again. Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford or Errol Spence are the two fights where he will most likely lose. He will most likely lose. Those guys are young, tall, lengthy. Stylistically speaking, they're more box. They're more. They have more of a boxing style that always gives Pacquiao some problems. But at the same time, Pacquiao still has what it takes to be competitive at that level. Those are the two Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are the two toughest fights for Manny Pacquiao right now at welterweight. The other fights, other fighters like Danny Garcia, a rematch against Keith Thurman, or Mikey Garcia, those guys. I'm pretty confident Pacquiao still has what it takes to beat those guys. But Spence and Crawford, those are tough. So it's a tough fight for Pacquiao, but it's a great opportunity for Crawford for him to fight a legend like Manny Pacquiao. If he beats Manny Pacquiao, obviously Crawford's name will be more well known. People will hear about him. More people will hear about him. More people, his fan base will probably grow fighting Manny Pacquiao. And it's a fight that Terence Crawford has always wanted for how many years now. And I think if I remember correctly, if he had to choose between one, he'd rather choose Pacquiao, obviously, for obvious reasons, more money. And plus, it's a less riskier fight for Terence Crawford, at least on paper it is. And we have Shawn Porter versus Crawford. Now, this is a very interesting fight. Shawn Porter actually has been going out there saying that he wants to make this fight. And he actually told his dad to start talking with Top Rank, and Top Rank has been talking. Top Rank has been talking with Porter's team. They've been talking, and if I remember correctly, sometime last week, I believe, there were people talking about how Porter rejected a $2 million offer to fight Crawford. Now, actually, $2 million is pretty good money if you ask me, especially with the current climate, with the pandemic going on, with fans not being available in venues. If they can somehow increase that for a little bit more for Porter, then I'm sure Porter would be more willing to fight Crawford. If those comments were true, because honestly, I don't know how true the 2 million offer is. I haven't really like last week, I was busy with the fiance planning wedding stuff, so I wasn't really fully paying attention to the sport at the time. But if somebody could share the source of the $2 million rejection, please let me know in the comment section below. But it's still a great fight. If I were Crawford, obviously the obvious choice is Pacquiao, but if that fight can't happen, obviously Porter is the fight to make. Plus, it gives an opportunity for Crawford to prove himself to a lot of these doubters, who's been criticizing him about his competition at welterweight. Well, Porter he's already been there against guys like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. He's been there against or Denis Ugas also, who he arguably lost to, in my opinion. I think Ugas should have won that fight, but it is what it is. It's a great opportunity for Crawford to fight and prove a lot of people wrong, because he will serve as a measuring stick to compare his performance against Porter compared to the other fighters and how they did against Porter. So, it's a good fight. Both fights are good. Both fights are very good. And hopefully we see one of them for Terence Crawford. I want Terence Crawford to be successful. I want him the best. I want the best fights for him. Obviously, the best fight out there for Terence Crawford, other than this two, definitely better than this two, in my opinion, is the Errol Spence fight. Now, that's the fight that needs to be. That's the fight that needs to be made. But it seems like Errol Spence will be fighting, most likely be fighting Ugas. So, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And like always, have a great day. Alright, thanks.